Long ago, when the world was bright and full of stories, an evil wizard gained the power to touch the face of God. Narrativa, goddess of stories and weaver of our world, banished him to the void, but not before he stole a piece of her divine essence. With this newfound power, the wizard lay a dread curse upon all the world, the Glyph Purge, which struck from the minds of all mortals the knowledge of how to read and write. Now, all that stand between the Isle of Meosha and an age of endless ignorance are the bards, who tell stories of distant lands, exotic creatures, and brave heroes. This is one such tale.
Hello and welcome to Challenge Rating Zero, the latest and greatest Dungeons & Dragons podcast to hit the internet airwaves. I am Sam, your Dungeon Master, and I am joined as always by my longtime friends and adventuring companions.
Hello, I'm Brian, and I play Hector the Gatekeeper.
Hi, I'm Beth, and I play Rilla Longshadow.
Hey there, I'm Alex, and I play Ruger Firehide.
And last but not least, we have the man who calls himself Michael, but who we call Parker. Michael Parker playing the druid Zurabak. Say hi, Parker.
Hi, Parker.
Fantastic. We are joined once more for a tale of epic fantasy. Got a lot to get to. Our very leisurely break in Everspring is coming to an end. Our uneventful jaunt in the big city where nothing major happened is, vacation's over, y'all. We're about to get into some shit.
I danced with an older woman. That's like, eventful.
I tried new things, new delicious poisons.
That's true. I think
it's the only thing I can remember.
That's the only thing of note that did happen.
I intimidated a punk out of a party. That was fun.
Yes, you did. Which was also very impactful. The only thing I can really think of any import that happened. But let me look at my notes here. When last we left our heroes, Hector, Zurabak. Hold on. My brain just died.
Rilla and Ruger.
Give me a second. Hold on. Wait, I got it. Don't help me. I got it. Might have to find a record scratch to put in here at some point, Matt, if you wouldn't mind.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. When last we left our heroes, Hector, Rilla, Zurabak, and the lawman Ruger Firehide were gallivanting around the sprawling metropolis of Everspring. After enduring a potentially deadly wedding catastrophe, our heroes regrouped and spent some time refitting their lost gear, getting some advice from local spellcasters, and transforming into beautiful dragon creatures before Zurabak went down into the depths of Grotmire and broke the stricken out of jail. Zurabak eager to advance to the next mission delivered to our party by this demigod now in mortal form. You have all been informed by the stricken Anthony Geist that the next piece you will need to recreate his great and terrible spell has been located and is ready for pickup. You are all to head to the Springvale Forest, Rilla's homeland, in order to pick up something called a Death's Head Orchid.
Ooh. Fuck that place.
A powerful plant which grows only on the site of bloody and terrible betrayal. In order to mask his presence in the city of Everspring, our ever lovely demigod, the Stricken, changed his form into that of a human, utilizing his new and potentially terrible powers, having reclaimed some followers in the Ashen Isles. And so Hector, Rilla, Zurabak, and Ruger Firehide now stand outside the College of Everspring with the Stricken in human form, ready to speak to the lore masters about their next mission. It is about noon on a clear, sunny day outside of the College of Everspring. And y'all are standing in the broad courtyard outside of it, the quad. What do y'all do?
I attack.
Excellent. Who do you attack?
Let me roll a dice.
You're gonna roll a dice to determine. Brian, I don't know
I
if you've
attack
played.
myself.
Okay.
Duh.
I don't know if you've played this game before, Brian. That's not usually how it works. That's fine. We'll unpack the rules for you later in the episode, maybe.
I get a drink or 2 or 3. I'm gonna go drink. I don't care. I don't care what you do. I'm gonna go drink. And Rilla just leaves.
Hector shrugs and follows.
Okay. Rilla decides to take off and go get some brewskis. Where are you headed? The Crooked Stool, perhaps, on the docks?
I don't care. Sure. Wherever I can make it to. What directions do I have? Hector, where's the nearest drinking establishment? I don't
What's
know.
close? What do we know about that's close?
You know about the Crooked Stool, which is on the docks, which is
Yeah,
what
let's
the
go
college
there
is next
then.
to.
We go there. It's fine.
All right.
I go to.
Maybe we should try something a little bit more outside of our comfort zone.
Should we?
There are several drinking establishments here in the city of Everspring. There is the high-end establishment known as the Golden Goose. There is the Broken Crown, which is more middle of the road. There's a dwarven bar called the Flying Stone. There's lots of places.
Let's go to the Crooked Stool.
Rilla will make a turn into the first bar she sees. So let's go.
Great. So you all head to the Crooked Stool. Ruger, do you take off after your companions?
Most certainly do.
Fantastic. Well, Zurabak, you and the Stricken are standing in front of the college as your companions head off to a bar, as Rilla suddenly feels the need to drink. The Stricken, in his human form, looks off after your party member and says, "Well, that's interesting. It seems that your companions aren't too excited about this next mission."
Too bad. I turn and go inside the college.
We'll catch them up later, I'm sure. Perhaps they'll need some time to get their minds right. I'll accompany you. I wouldn't want you to make any, breaches of etiquette in front of the lore masters. And the Stricken follows after you. You guys head into the college. You pass through the entry hall into the main central structure of this cross-shaped building with its massive central tower. And you head upstairs to the council chambers of the lore masters. At the Crooked Stool, Ruger, Hector, and Rilla, you all walk to the docks, and you see the familiar, dare I say, comforting presence of the Crooked Stool Tavern, a cozy dive bar that has as the sign above it, marking its name, a wooden stool, perfectly straight, hammered above the door. And as you get in, you adjust to the tilted floor, bars, tables, and stools of this establishment, which is slowly sinking into the docks. The bartender waves hello at you all from behind the bar and says, "Here we go. My favorite troublemakers, the protagonists. What are you having?"
Whatever's strongest, get me fucked up quick.
I'll take a dark beer.
Wow, you ain't fucking around today. Okay, let me get that. I mean, we do have, some dwarven spirits, but that's the most potable. But it's there's been some stigma around that ever since the the whole rock joint thing. Do you want that, or we can tone it down a bit?
Fuck it, I'll take rock joint. Go for it.
Well, I want to say to all patrons present, there is no rock joint in this establishment. We are rock joint free. God, you're killing me here. God, here. All right, here you go.
Let's take the bottle and a few shot glasses.
Yeah, of course. I get it.
And a dark beer.
I got your dark beer, Fire High. Don't worry about it. Bartender reaches up on a top shelf and gets a dusty stone bottle, which he brings down and places on the bar. He gets a couple shot glasses and he pours 3 dark beers. Here you go. I tell you what, it's on the house. I need to get this shit out of my inventory. Anyway, no one's had a sip of it since everything got cleared out. Just don't, don't have me carry you out of here. It's a bad look.
No promises.
So I guess, do we want to do...
Rilla takes a shot.
Really, you take a shot, and I don't know if you're used to dwarven spirits.
Absolutely not. Nope.
Yeah. Is this the first time you've had dwarven, like, alcohol?
Yeah, Rilla usually drinks wine. So
Sure.
yes.
You are presented with a incredibly sharp-smelling white liquor that does not taste like anything except burning as it goes down. And you feel it almost immediately. I'm going to need you to make me a fortitude saving throw.
5.
Yeah, you're tipsy already. You take one drink and your cheeks get flushed and you waver a little on the tilted floor of the crooked stool.
Another one.
I'm going to do... we're going to call this a minecart bomb. I'm gonna drop my shot into my dark beer and chug.
Fantastic. Yeah. Ruger, are you taking a more measured pace or are you getting fucked?
Well, I thought I was until he dropped the minecart bomb. Now I'm reconsidering my whole life. So,
Yeah, you drop your shot into your mug and Ruger looks at you like, you can do that?
I fucking follow suit.
Yeah. All right. So you all tie one on. How about everyone roll me another fortitude saving throw?
Is this for my second shot?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Damn.
21.
26.
Okay.
22.
Okay. Hector and Ruger, y'all tie one on, and you are experienced drinkers of hard liquor, whether in rejoicing at a gatekeeper wedding or silently pondering the nature of existence with a bottle of liquor in your room. Y'all know exactly what you're doing. Rilla, the first shot kind of fucks you up. The second one, you adapt to surprisingly quickly. Maybe because of your innate shape-shifting powers, maybe you're able to adjust some things in there almost automatically, but you stand up better to this
Shapeshift
shot, but you are
into a dwarf, and then it justifies it all.
Not her liver shapeshifted into a dwarven liver. That's what happened. That's the level of control we're talking about here.
Unlimited power.
So yeah, y'all are getting tipsy.
Rilla takes another one.
Well,
I'm not drunk enough yet.
now, Rilla, let's keep in mind.
Nope. She just does it.
Roll another fortitude save.
I understand where you're coming from, Ruger, but
7.
I think she's earned this.
Congratulations, Rilla. You are now drunk. You are completely inebriated. You just took 3 shots of basically grain alcohol, like one right after the other. You are fucked.
But I didn't puke it up, so that's good.
Oh, roll a fortitude saving throw.
Yeah, you have a very deep and alarming burp, but you are able to keep everything down.
I actually recoil a little bit. Like, oh!
Yeah.
Rilla's shoulders relax for the first time. She's like, okay. All right. Fuck.
Is this maybe a good time to bring up the fact that the lore masters are waiting on us?
I don't give a shit. Go meet him without me.
Yeah. I drop another shot mine cart.
Did we leave Zurabak and the Stricken as the sole?
Nope. Can't forget about Snake. Zurabak never does.
With luck, he'll just like firebomb the entire forest and it won't even matter.
No, that's as routinely stated. That's a bad idea.
Doesn't your sister live in there?
Yeah, that would suck.
Yes, that would suck. I can personally attest to the fact that burning people alive sucks.
Rilla takes another shot.
Fuck, I take another shot. Now I'm triggered.
Everybody roll another fortitude save.
That is a dirty 20.
21.
Hector and Ruger, you're still fine.
Rilla's not even here.
Yeah, Rilla is getting wasted. Rilla, what's... Since neither of your friends will ask, what's going through Rilla's head right now?
Rilla never wanted to go back to the forest and was trying to figure out a way to get Dara out without having to step into it. Rilla thinks she's going to die. And
We're all gonna die sometime.
yeah, but like in the next few days now.
Rilla.
And-
Does Zurabak believe that?
Rilla, you're talking to a coat rack right now.
Yeah. Does any of this come spilling out while you're drinking, Rilla?
I mean, I'm pretty drunk. I'm probably just like, fuck, I'm gonna die, fuck, I'm gonna die, fuck. That's probably what's coming out.
You will not die.
Yeah, you'll definitely not die.
Yes, I will. I'm sorry, did your cards not come true?
Oh, right. Prophecy.
Oh, right, that's right.
Yes,
Stupid
they all
human
found a way.
Ruger.
They all found a way to sort of technically come true, but we have thwarted aspects of them. Ruger lost everything and then gained everything back the next day.
That's been interesting.
Okay, well, when I'm dead and you recruit my little sister, make sure she doesn't die. Thanks.
Wow, that's...
You'll have a long shadow.
Listen, Rilla. You're not gonna die. You're a protagonist. You're surrounded by protagonists. And we have a divine purpose that we need to attend to. And I'm pretty sure that that purpose doesn't end with you dying. That's probably just a stepping stone on the path.
It would be really anticlimactic.
The purpose of my life, per my clan, was to die for the forest. The purpose of my life being to die for Narrativa doesn't seem like that big of a stretch. And I take another drink.
Hashtag D.
Roll a fortitude save.
Ooh, I finally got a middling. I've been rolling like 17s and 3s. So that is a 13.
Yeah, that's not enough. You are well and truly sloshed. You at this point. You
I
are.
fall off my chair.
Yeah, the lean of the crooked stool has finally gotten to you, and so you slump off your chair.
It's fine. It's better down here. This is where I belong.
I just sit down cross-legged on the floor with her.
You hear the bartender say from across the room, "Hey, I thought I asked you not to have me carry you out of here. This kind of, you guys, y'all got her, or what's going on?"
She's fine.
Cut to Zurabak. Zurabak, you and the Stricken have made your way to the large door outside of the council chambers, and you are let in without hesitation.
Mostly because Zurabak starts opening the door before they stop him.
Yeah, without hesitation, for sure. You open up the door with the Stricken in tow behind you and Snake slithering down the hallway, taking up the whole hallway like a goddamn train in a tunnel. Then you find yourself standing in front of the large crescent-shaped raised dais that the lore masters sit at. Only one lore master is present at the moment. Lore Master Holland, the lore master of magic and the arcane, who is seated at her normal spot and is recording notes, not with quill or ink, but you see her trace some powdered jade, sprinkling it over a small plaque of wood, and she says, we must be ever watchful for any signs of infiltration. There's a small flash, and then that plaque of wood grows a small mouth and repeats that message back perfectly. You can see she's taking notes with a magic mouth spell. And she sits up in her seat and turns to you as you walk into the room. Zurabak, and our guest, you have need of me?
Time to go to the stupid forest.
You're going to the Springvale Forest?
Yeah, I think that was what it was called.
Well, I can certainly open a portal for you to...
Need a betrayal flower thing.
The stricken behind you says, the next component of the spell you're trying to decode has revealed itself. The protagonists must venture to the forest to claim a death's head orchid. To which the lore master says, that is interesting. A very rare flower, one of great magical power. Well, we can certainly use the standing stone portals to send you to the forest. That will be no problem, though I would assume the rest of your companions would be joining you. Are they here?
Drowning in the throes of mortality.
Well, I suppose every one of us needs a drink from time to time. There is quite a bit of weight on your shoulders. Well, Zurabak and Mr. Geist, I can open up the portal to the Circle of Standing Stones where you can wait until your friends are ready. Is there anything else you'll need from the college before you set out?
Zurabak looks at the stricken.
The stricken says, no, great lore master, as long as the protagonists all file their way through the gate to the Everspring Forest, I should be able to point out precisely what they need. They are, after all, retracing my old steps. Worry not, it will be done. And he snaps his fingers, and his form shifts from a nondescript human back into his previous form, a gnome with a big beak of a nose, a shock of white hair, and now ebony eyes. Lore Master Holland gets up from their desk, walks over to a tapestry, which is pulled aside, and she activates the standing stone portal that is hidden behind it. It shimmers with a field of energy. Do you walk through, Zurabak?
Yep.
Sweet. You and Snake make your way through with the stricken in tow, and you find yourselves instantly transported to the Circle of Standing Stones high in the top reaches of the Everspring Mountains, wind whistling through the standing stone portals arrayed in a circle on this otherwise barren crag of stone on top of the mountain. You see the sprawling city of Everspring far below you, along with the forest next to it, inside the bowl of the mountain, and Lake Daynum, crescent-shaped, nestled against it. To the south, you see the ancient, verdant Springvale forest, covered partially by mist that arises from all of the falling water traveling down in a myriad of waterfalls from the Everspring Mountains themselves. You can see from this high vantage point that there is blackness creeping into the forest like some sort of blight or infection. Even from this lofty vantage point so far away, you can tell that there is a scar almost cut into the forest. These striations of darkness reaching in from the Badlands, and they seem to have gotten far enough in that you can see them even from here, miles and miles away on top of this mountain. It's bad down there. The stricken says, I suppose we'll have our work cut out for us. I didn't realize the bleed was getting this severe.
Zurabak shrugs.
As he do. As you shrug, we cut to Hector, Rilla, and Ruger. Rilla and Ruger are sitting on the floor of the crooked stool. Rilla is well inebriated. Ruger and Hector, y'all are keeping up, but your fortitudes are better suited for the hard stuff. Yeah.
So, Rilla, do you think maybe we should maybe get off this floor and get you back to the college, nice warm bed, you could sleep it off, and I could just go pay a quick little visit to the lore masters and tell them we're okay. Then, talk about it tomorrow when you'll remember it.
I don't want there to be a tomorrow. Maybe you should just leave me here. Maybe it's better that way.
Now, what are you talking about?
I don't want to go back. I don't know if I can go back.
Is this about the forest not letting you in?
No. I mean, that was just like fucking par for the course. Of course it hates me too. I don't want to, there was one chance to escape and I took it. And if I go back in, I'm never going to leave again. Ever. They won't let me.
Well, I would say that we won't give them a choice in the matter.
Good luck fighting a couple hundred elves on your own then. That'll be fun.
I will kill every single one of them before I let them take you.
I think this is a lot of bold talk on both sides. I don't think we need an elven genocide on our hands. I think the problems in this world are big enough. Perhaps there might be a more peaceful way in which we could negotiate. I mean, really, I think I'm missing a couple of dots here. You think your people are going to kidnap you? Why?
I don't know if kidnapping's the right word. I think that's technically what the Stricken did.
Got him.
I am a tool whose purpose is to die for my people. And I slipped from their grasp once, and they will not let it happen again.
How does... Why do they want you to die for them? To what end?
To keep them safe. To keep the forest strong.
So they believe by sacrificing you, particularly you, that they'll be able to repel...
Rigger, I'm the first natural magic user born to my clan in a generation. I'm the only one. The only one. And the barrier that keeps the forest normal during this time relies on magic. What would you do to keep your children safe?
Touche. Too fucking shay, Rilla. Well, fuck, I guess we'll go with Hector's plan then. He'll bring the hammer, I'll bring the axe, Zurabak will bring...
That wasn't so much a plan, just saying, like, if it comes to it, I will slaughter hundreds of elves with my bare hands.
The only things I can see that'll come out of this, like, yeah, we'll try and save the fucking world, obviously. But the ends that I see available are either, like, they'll take me, and then we'll have to slaughter my entire clan, Except for my sister. If you touch her, I'll murder you all, obviously.
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 Or they'll broker some sort of trade that requires you to leave me behind in order to save the world. They're really good at putting things in light like that, you know? What are the needs of one against the needs of all?
Yeah, but unfortunately, by my seeing and my viewing, you've been selected for a higher calling, beyond even just what the elves require. I mean, Narrativa chose you herself to represent her interests in this time of turmoil. So, we are...
I don't think you understand the pecking order of my clan. Gods are fine and all, but the ancestors are more important. And they've chosen me too.
Well, they don't need to know that you're anywhere near there. You are a master of disguise. You don't need to be Rilla while we're there. Rilla Longshadow may never return to the Springvale Forest. Who, then, shall accompany us?
That's interesting.
Damn, Hector.
That might work. Shit, that might work. It really, like, grabs Hector's face because she's drunk, right? She's like, you're very smart.
I understand story structure.
It's the same thing.
The forest is probably going to be able to tell, though.
Well, the forest is being a fickle bitch anyways. She doesn't know who she wants to let in or let out. I mean, she's already confused. We're there to fix the problem, right? Us and you. The new you protagonist.
Right. I'll have to work on that when I'm seeing not double.
Yeah.
Well, if we're going to do this, let's get it done. But, if we can, we should probably get my sister out of there, like, immediately.
Yeah,
if
no.
we can. If there's a way to do it.
I basically, you know how the last mission was like, oh, we're there to get the dagger, but it's like, no, we're here to save the people from the Mad Queen. Like, that was always kind of what the sort of main quest and then the side quest to saving the world. That's kind of what I figured Dara was here. Like, that's the main quest, and then the side quest is saving the world.
Aw,
Yeah,
that's very sweet.
at the end of the day, the fact that the elves are willing to sacrifice, like, fucking teenagers, I guess, that are 3 times as old as me. But anyhow, this shit's sick. So, I don't know. Hector may have to hit one with his hammer just 'cause.
You know, you think they'd be frail, but, like, they've got some tensile strength, you know? Like, their little wrists are very strong.
That's...
Tensile strength. You can't pull them apart for nothing. I done tried. Let me tell you, these elves, oof, they're stringy, you know?
String is a good word for it.
So I, Ruger Firehide, stand up from the floor, and then I offer an extended hand to drunk-ass Rilla.
I, drunk-ass Rilla, reach out and grab one of the wrong hands that is not actually there. And I fall down again.
Damn it.
Yeah, you pull Ruger down with you. The crooked stool's not great for standing up when you're drunk. The whole thing's slanted slightly.
Yeah.
It's a real fucking trip. But eventually, y'all get to
Hector
your feet.
strikes a heroic pose and pulls both of them up to their feet.
Yeah. Eventually, y'all get up off the floor, and where are you headed?
To the college. That's my vote.
Yeah, to the college.
Is there any way to sober me up? Probably not.
Oh, it's too
well.
late for that now.
Yep.
You guys head to the College of Ever Spring.
I'm not
Yeah,
walking.
it's minus 2 per failed save. So really, you got about minus 4 to your dexterity and wisdom because you're drunk.
Okay, so my wisdom is at this is against the total, not the modifier?
Yeah, against the total.
Cool, my wisdom's down to a 6.
Excellent.
My dexterity's still fine, it's like a 12, but like,
Okay.
So maybe I'm walking, but I'm walking into things that aren't there and turning where I shouldn't, and like.
Oh, for sure, yeah. You've completely lost where you're supposed to go. Your spatial awareness is nothing. You bump into
Completely
like
gone.
6 people on the way to the college.
So like Beth after 2 drinks.
Yeah, just like Beth after a couple drinks. So being propped up on either side by Ruger and Hector, eventually you all make your way to the college. You go through the entrance hall into the Great Central Tower, up to the counselor's chambers, where you see Lore Master Holland slip into the room from behind a tapestry and say, I see the rest of you have finally come. Rilla, are you all right?
No.
She's fine.
Okay.
She's just coping with what it means to be a protagonist. You know, staring into the void all the time.
What is a great hero if they don't occasionally have the existential crisis?
Can I roll to puke on the carpet?
Yeah, you puke on the carpet, for sure. You don't have to roll for that shit. You're drunk
Cool.
as hell.
I recoil.
Yeah. Your wisdom score is so low you don't even try to cover your mouth or turn your head. You just projectile vomit. As Ruger and Hector try to skillfully describe your condition, you just projectile vomit onto the floor, and Holland's like, "Oh, that's nasty. Oh, that's pungent. Are you okay? I guess I'll go ahead and get this cleaned up. If you all would like to go on your deadly quest, Zurabak and the Stricken are already there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Oh,
need
fuck
you to get
no.
her. I'm gonna need you to get her out of my council chambers before she spews again. If you could just
Yeah. Good
do
idea.
that.
Definitely good idea.
And Lord Master Holland waves to a Knight of the Quill. It's like, get some sawdust up here. This is gross. Who runs out of the room looking a little green. And yeah, y'all go through the portal behind the tapestry, and you are in the Circle of Standing Stones, high above the city of Everspring. The change in altitude does not do wonders for your stomach. You are suddenly about 100, 200 feet higher up instantaneously, and you're in horrible driving frigid winds.
I collapse on the ground immediately.
Yeah, your ears pop and you tilt and slump to the stone.
Damn. An elven ear pop. That's gonna be like twice as bad.
There's so much ear to pop. Hector and Ruger, you have this bird's eye view that I just described to Zurabak earlier. As you're looking around, you see the city, the lake below you inside the bowl of these mountains, but far to the south where the Everspring forest stands, you see this blight from the Badlands stretching into the Everspring forest. These black tendrils almost reaching deep into the Everspring forest. There's just these bands of black that are seemingly like crawling their way into these towering verdant green trees, leaving quite the distinctive marks on the eastern edge of the forest closest to the Badlands. The Stricken is back in his gnome form, and he looks at you all and says, well, I trust everyone's ready to go.
Yeah.
Just about.
All
right, drunk Rilla, decide who you are going to be. Now is the time, now that you are drunk and experiencing some vertigo.
Rilla just starts cackling, and then it slowly turns into crying. That's what happens.
Yeah, you've just asked a drunk Rilla to decide who she wants to be, and that's pretty hard coming through the drunk filter. That's a lot to grapple with. You're going home, Rilla. Who do you want to be? Pretty understandable.
I may have phrased that poorly.
I look to Anthony and I say, she's gonna need a minute, I think. But a question for you: are we even all gonna be able to get in there? I mean, last time we interacted with this forest, it wasn't exactly friendly to Rilla, and generally speaking, it shouldn't be very friendly to me.
Those are fine questions, Firehide. I remember on the road north from Picker's Run when we tried to engage with the Springvale Forest that the illusion magics the ancient elves designed to keep out their enemies were on the fritz. If I remember correctly, these ancient magics designed to keep out interlopers and keep the elves safe rejected Rilla, the only one of us with elven blood, but allowed you, Ruger, a human, free entrance. I am sure that the veil the ancient elves placed on this forest is malfunctioning. It is not acting as it is supposed to. Doubtless.
They're gonna blame that on me, says Rilla from the ground.
They may, Rilla. They may. Though we know the truth of it. The magical chaos, the instability of the Badlands wrought by so much magic done so recklessly ages ago is creeping into the Springvale Forest, no doubt because of this powerful spell placed over it. All of the darkness, all of the instability, all of the magical chaos in the Badlands is the result of reckless magical use, and the veil over the Springvale Forest is one of the most powerful spells ever cast by any mortal on this island, rivaling even my own talents. If the veil is corrupted entirely, I would assume that it would be doom upon the entire island. A band of chaos and wild magic across the entire island of Meosha, all the way from the Badlands to the east, stretching across the Springvale to the west, would be horrifying. It would completely isolate both halves of the island and bring untold suffering to the elves who make the forest their home. I do not know what we are walking into, but if the bleed I can see from here is any indication, we are walking into a very inhospitable environment. The local plants, the local animals, the creatures that call the Springvale Forest home have no doubt fallen prey already to the wild magics of the Badlands. I doubt very much this place will resemble what Rilla left all those months ago. We are in for quite a treat, in other words. As far as your question, will the forest reject us, I have, though some do not like it, regained a bit of my former power. I can use this to shield us from some of the effects of the forest. But not all. We'll just have to see what happens.
Yep, that all sounds about right.
Zurabak's been trying to fucking open the portal the entire time he's been up here.
Oh yeah, for sure. You've been slamming your stick against it, just slamming it against the side of this standing stone, and your snake has coiled around one leg of it and is just squeezing as hard as it can. But it's just not fucking opening.
That's good stuff.
Hey there, listeners. It's Sam, your Dungeon Master, and I have some exciting news. We here at Challenge Rating Zero have our very first sponsor, Apotheosis Comics and Lounge. Find them on South Grand or at their new location on Cherokee Street. Or, for those of you listeners not living in St. Louis, Missouri, find them at shopapotheosis.com. Voted St. Louis's best comic book store twice over by the Riverfront Times, Apotheosis Comics and Lounge should be your one-stop shop for comics, graphic novels, D&D swag, and more. Not only can you find the latest titles from your favorite superheroes, but you can do so with a cold, locally sourced beer from your favorite St. Louis breweries. That's right. Not only can you find comics and cold beers at Apotheosis Comics and Lounge, but you might also come across yours truly, running one of my favorite role-playing games, Dungeons & Dragons. Apotheosis Comics and Lounge, the latest and greatest sponsor of the latest and greatest D&D podcast, Challenge Rating Zero. Check them. Lore Master Holland, who followed you all onto the mountaintop, is just sort of sitting in the background, arms crossed in their silver robes, just like waiting for okay, whenever you're ready.
Hey, Holland.
Oh, no.
Have you met any other sorcerers?
The diviner is a sorcerer, yes.
Anyone else?
No. Spellcasting has been left in a bit of disarray since the Glyph Purge. The entire art of wizardry has been destroyed due to no one being able to use, create, or read spell books. Us bards are able to borrow some power from the goddess of stories, and druids like Zurabak can tap into the wilds. Even rangers and paladins like Mr. Firehide here have some connection to the innate magic of wild places and the god of Protos. But sorceresses, sorcerers, those with magic born in them, those that require no training, those with magic in their blood, are exceedingly rare.
The diviner's old, right? She's like 40s?
Yes.
She's like... Well, I mean, from the view of a teenager.
She's like 40s or something, basically dead, right?
I am endlessly delighted by Ruger's constant offense at every time Rilla talks about anyone quote unquote old. It's so good. You're old, right? Like 35. You're 112. What the fuck?
117. Okay, cool.
I'm a baby.
So theoretically, if she liked men, she could have had a kid. So I'm just gonna try and look like I could be her child. That's what I'm gonna go with, because it's like a bloodline thing. Yeah, we'll just do that.
Okay, what? What are you doing?
I'm gonna look like the diviner, but like a 17-year-old version of her.
Fascinating. Okay.
Don't forget with eyes.
With eyes.
I would maybe suggest that
Fascinating.
if magic's going a bit wonky in there, that just do as much as you can of a physical disguise, and then
that's a good idea. But I mean, I probably got some pretty bad negatives to that right now. Or I mean, what do you want to call that? My hands are too shaky. How do we phrase the drunkenness?
So, Beth, I have a question.
Yeah.
What is your name as the daughter of the diviner?
I don't have one. Fuck you.
Little diviner.
I'm the
She
daughter.
knows all the answers in the universe, but not my name.
I'm the daughter. Why?
The daughter. Okay. So you said about making a disguise. Now you have... What's up?
I just, whenever she's doing that, I would like to be telling her a story about somebody who overcame their drunkenness to get some art done and do an inspire competence.
Sweet. So with Hector egging you on, he uses his Inspire Competence ability to give you +2 to your disguise check. So if you are going to dip into your many disguise kits, Rilla, to start crafting a physical disguise, go ahead and roll me a disguise check with a +2 from your buddy Hector.
Let's try it without magic. That's probably a good idea. Hang on. And disguise is charisma, so that isn't changed by being drunk.
Not at all. In fact, you are given new levels of inspiration. You're like, let me try this. I've never done this before.
This makes no sense, but I rolled a critical.
Yeah, you've drunkenly discovered your disguise masterpiece. You
That's
half
a 35.
Fall in. What's that all day?
It's a 35 with that
Fuck
bonus
yes.
from Hector. Oh boy.
Rilla Longshadow, you have taken Hector's recommendation to the absolute limit. You have literally crafted a disguise that is the height of your skill in this regard. You have transformed yourself with the prosthetics, makeup, and costumes in your disguise kits to the point that your companions looking directly at you, I think, can't mechanically tell who you are at this point. Maybe Zurabak can.
It's Spot, right?
She's human though, right? I'm definitely human.
Yes, you. Tell me what you look like. Tell me and our listeners exactly what you look like as you craft.
I don't
this.
know what the diviner actually looks like. Do we? Do we have like a good description there?
Several times. Middle-aged human woman with long blonde hair, smartly dressed with a scarf over her eyes. Like,
Okay. Yeah. So I have blonde hair. Oh, I don't know if I like that. Shit, that seems a little too Rilla-ish, but fine. A much lighter shade of blonde hair to match the diviners, and I want to look average. I am not pretty. I am not ugly. I am boring. Boring faced is the goal. Like you wouldn't notice me or care to talk to me again if you saw me in a crowd.
So you get a very pale blonde wig on, which you adjust perfectly to hide your long elven ears, which you pin down underneath it. You put some makeup over your freckles and any distinguishing marks to make your face completely bland. No accents, no rouge, no lipstick, nothing, just complete, plain, unassuming human lady.
I look like the diviner. I look like I could be related to her, but that's the most like thing I put into it. Other than that, very plain.
Gotcha. What kind of outfit are we rocking?
I'm gonna say it's got a hood because that seems like a good backup in case the wig doesn't work right. So probably like a cloak, probably like a dark cloak.
Cool.
And I've still got my bow on my back, so maybe I could even pass for some sort of rogue.
Fantastic. You flip your hooded cloak up over your head to further disguise your form, and you are...
Shit, no, I can't use my longbow. Shit. Nope. I hand that to, God, I'm terrible at names. I just leave it here. I just hand it right over.
You hand it to Lore Master Holland?
Yeah. Watch this for me.
She looks quizzically at you. I obviously don't know the situation you're heading into, Rilla, but why would you give me your bow?
Because where we're going, they'll recognize me by it.
Oh, this was from your homeland?
Mm-hmm.
Ah. Well, know that I shall keep it absolutely safe while you are gone. I look forward to the opportunity to return it to you when you come back.
Do you have a backup bow?
That long pause just made me think, oh, I'll keep it completely. She chucks it off the mountain, completely safe.
I do not have a backup longbow. I have a flaming longsword. And I have magic. But I can't. That will destroy.
Okay.
And there's no point in disguising myself if I'm going to carry that bow into battle.
Why does that nondescript human woman have Rilla's bow? That's weird. Because elves talk like that?
Because I murdered her.
That's how all the elves talk? No, I've
It's
leaned.
your world, Sam. You tell me.
I've leaned on that country accent far too often in this campaign. It's time to branch out. We're gonna go Cockney, and no, we're not doing that either.
Australian.
Can't sustain that.
I'm thinking like Liverpudlian.
Say that one more time for me, Brian, just for posterity.
Liverpudlian.
Thank you.
That tracks.
All right, so you all watch as Rilla assembles her greatest disguise ever, looking like a completely nondescript human traveler with a voluminous cloak, disguising her form and a hood over her head. What's the deal with Rutherford? Is Rutherford coming? Is Rutherford disguised?
Yeah, I'm gonna disguise him
He
too.
gets a fancy hat and a mustache.
Just put fucking Groucho Marx glasses on him.
I'm gonna disguise Rutherford as like a black cat. He's
Okay.
orange.
So you spray paint your cat. Love it. Loving every minute of it. No, you find you get a lovely bag of ash and soot, and you sprinkle it over your cat, who is not pleased.
I apologize to him while I'm doing it, but I'm like, we can't get caught. I rolled a 5, so it's
what's
an
he
18.
say to her, though?
I was getting to that.
Okay. Sorry.
What is his voice?
It's really deep.
Yes, mistress.
Yeah.
Mistress, I can't help but, wonder at the wisdom of this particular move. For one thing, you're absolutely shit-faced. And, I've sort of got this nice orange thing going. Okay, that hurts. Are we doing the black cat thing?
Rutherford. Shh. Like, listen, you're very, very smart and pretty, but they know who you are. And I don't want to get caught. So you have to be an ugly black cat for a little bit to stay an alive cat. So we're going to do this. Okay? Okay, buddy? And I like slap him a little bit.
Okay, wow, that's unfortunate. Mistress, I will say I obviously want us both to be alive, and, I'll defend you to my last small feline breath, but, you get a little handsy. So we're gonna want to work on that. More of an independent kind of thing, mistress, if we could just...
You live on my shoulders. You're not that independent, sir.
No, I'm all aloof and stuff. It's great. Listen, I'll rock this disguise, but just, we don't want you falling apart in there. So just maybe kind of keep it together a little bit, right?
I'm gonna try my best. If things get hairy, though, get the fuck out of there. Cool?
Well, my middle name is Harry.
Is it?
Oh, by the way, I have a middle name and it's Harry. I can tell you that now. I can speak. It's Rutherford B. Harry Hayes is what it is. So that's the whole thing.
And for a second, your cat sits down, now completely blackened, and looks you deep in the eyes and says,
Mistress, if I have to drag you out of there by my very teeth, I will. I will not leave you behind.
And Rilla bursts into tears again, and then hugs her cat who's covered in ash.
who nuzzles you very, very tenderly. What's up, Ruger?
All the while, I try to explain to Lore Master Holland that Rilla talking to the cat is not a product of her being drunk, and that they just regularly have conversations.
Yeah, because again, I cannot clarify enough. All the rest you hear is meow, meow, meow.
And the rhythmic sound of Zurabak whacking the portal in the background with a stick.
Squeeze, snake!
Squeeze! Snake squeezing.
Holland walks over to the portal that Snake and Zurabak are currently assaulting, and she waves her hand for you to disengage, and then switches on the portal. One you've never taken before, which shimmers with a plane of magical force that crackles in a way you've never seen or heard before. This silvery plane of shimmering energy crackles very loudly once and then twice, and then flashes with a line of darkness at a strange angle across it, almost like it's unstable. Holland says, "That's definitely not supposed to happen."
I didn't do it.
Yes, I'm sure you lack the power to affect these ancient stones, Zurabak.
Oh, now I totally did it.
Yes, I'm sure you're powerful enough to have done this, Zurabak. In either event, I'm going to have to keep an eye on this one. It seems there's some sort of interference on the other end. Nothing you all can't handle, I'm sure, but you're going to want to be ready when you cross. Weapons out and all that.
Is there anyone over there to turn it back on?
Once you are close enough, I can activate it again, as I did when you were all on the Ashen Islands.
So you don't have a spy in my village?
We have the diviner, but no, we've not been able to establish any contacts in the Springvale Forest. As you know, the elves are very...
Yeah, try to convince her this is a compliment. Okay? Compliment.
I'll be sure to do that. The stricken looks at all of you and heaves a sigh. It will be good to be back in the field with you all so soon. Like old times. And he just boldly walks forward into the portal, which crackles loudly again as he steps through.
And like just every other sentence out of his mouth, I just want to smash his head. And then every other sentence, I feel like it's my civic duty to smash his head because he's dangerous.
I'm just nodding and listening to Hector as I slowly escort him through the portal.
Yeah. Yeah, Hector and Ruger, you go through. Zurabak, I'm sure you charged through right after the stricken did.
Yep.
Yep, you and Snake
I turn
Slither
to
through.
Holland. And I go, aren't they chivalrous? And then I crawl through on my knees.
Yeah, Rutherford is walking backwards into the portal with his teeth clamped onto the hood of your cloak, and he's pulling you backwards into it as you crawl after him.
It's okay, mistress. We're gonna get through this. I've got your back, or your front, or it's gonna be fine. We got this.
And yeah, you are all pulled through the portal. Every single time before that you've gone through one of these portals, there's been white all around you, a rushing sound in your ears, and you are deposited at the other end of it. This time it's a little different. The white all around you is cut through with jagged slashes of black, like lightning bolts in reverse, slashing through this white space you all find yourselves in, and instead of a rushing in your ears, there is a chaotic crackling hiss that almost pierces into your ears. It is incredibly uncomfortable, and the transition takes longer than usual. It's always hard to tell time, but it's normally instantaneous. You feel suspended for several suspenseful seconds before you are emptied out into your destination, and you all find yourselves in rather bleak surroundings. You are standing in a small clearing on top of a jumble of boulders that is situated next to a river. The river rushes against the moss-covered boulders that the standing stone is situated upon, and you are surrounded on all sides at the edge of this clearing by trees. But the river the moss and the trees look wrong. Gone is the verdant green that you would expect. The bark and branches and leaves of all of the trees are cut through with tendrils of pure black that scrabble up them like diseased veins. The moss covering the stone is brittle and cracks like dry earth underneath your feet, and the river is befouled. Some dark gray murk is moving through it like ink in a tank of water. There doesn't seem to be a cause for it, but as soon as you step out, you see this strange blight everywhere, and then the smell hits you. You are assailed by the smells of rot and decay. As if some corpse is decomposing near you. Nothing moves except the river slowly churning behind you, and you don't hear anything except the babbling of this polluted waterway. Rilla, roll me a survival check.
Okay. I have no points in that. Oh, that's true. So it's like a -2? What is that?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a 15.
Okay. Rilla, you remember enough of your homeland that even in your drunken state, you know where you are. You were on the bank of the River Wending, one of the many rivers that carves through the Springvale Forest as the water from Ever Spring streams down the mountains into these woods. This is close to the eastern side of your forest home, miles away from the village you grew up in, but pretty close to the where the forest bumps up against the Badlands, and you can now see this terrible blight all around you. It seems that the Badlands have gotten pretty far into your forest home, and this terrible blackness, this smell of rot and death, and these black tendrils are everywhere around you. So you are in a familiar place that is rendered almost unrecognizable.
The river Wending looks like I feel. You know what? I can't make it worse. And she staggers over and pukes in it.
You stagger over to the river and empty your sour guts into the flowing water. And you see the river's not moving as fast as it normally does. And despite all of the, in addition to all of this nasty gray substance that is streaming through it, as you vomit, you see a couple of dead fish bob up to the surface of the river, their forms floating lazily down this river as flies swarm around their carcasses.
Yeah, I definitely empty all of my stomach at that point.
Yeah, it's really bad. The smell of rot is everywhere, and it is powerful. It's pretty gross.
Hector just comes over and pats her on the back. Just, yep, let it all out. Let it all out. What was your name again, miss?
Really belches a little bit. He's like, look, man, the diviner doesn't have a name, so I'm the daughter, okay? It's fine.
Just so you want us to call you daughter in front of other
Sure.
people? Is that
Sure.
the plan? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, daughter.
Yeah, fuck.
She's real big on labels.
So, as you are tending to Rilla, the stricken says, well, this is about what I expected. It seems the blight has reached far and is wreaking havoc. In any event, what we are looking for is a death's head orchid. As I said, these things only grow in places of great and terrible and bloody betrayal. I was able to find one last when I walked the world by something the elves call the martyr's tree. This is in the very heart of this vast forest. We will have to start walking. And gods only know what we'll find on the way.
My money's on elves.
I believe we'll have to make our way west, and our path will inevitably cross through Greenleaf, Rilla's home. If you wanted to make any social stops, Rilla.
Who's Rilla?
I have never met an individual named Rilla.
The Stricken's eyes flash with darkness, and he says, "Of course, daughter, forgive me."
I don't like that. I don't like that.
I don't like it either. Nope.
Rutherford says,
Mistress, that's a little messed up. I think a little bit. No, I don't like that at all. Is there room in that cloak? This kind of sucks. Everything smells terrible.
He hisses a little
Did
bit.
you see the fish?
Yeah, I don't dig on rotten fish, mistress. It's pretty gross.
No, I agree. I'm just saying it's super nasty. Yeah, hop on in. I might look like a hunchback, but like that's fine. Come on.
Yeah, we're building some lore now. That's really what a good disguise, that's what I've always said. Disguises need lore.
and Rutherford scrabbles up on your back. And yeah, you do look like a fucking hunchback.
It's a layered disguise because if somebody like sees something off about you, it's like, no, I was just hiding my cat because I didn't want people to know I brought my cat. I'm actually just a not hunchbacked person with a black cat, and still not Rilla.
Oh, that's great. If someone fights Rilla, it's like a boss fight in a From Software game. She has like different stages. This is cloaked human Rilla. This is regular Rilla with a cat, and now this is undisguised Rilla.
Still with a cat.
Yeah, still the cat. Hopefully no one stabs me.
cat.
Hopefully nobody stabs me in the cat though. That would be bad.
Right in the cat. Oh, goodness.
There are other ways to phrase that wouldn't sound...
Phrasing, right? Are we not doing that anymore?
If I was a certain kind of dungeon master that would make the cheap shot of killing important NPCs just for an emotional kick, like, I would be really worried. I'd be really worried about your cat, but I'm not that kind of guy. That's not the kind of stories I tell. So we'll be fine, I'm sure. Anyways, the Stricken says, "Will you need a day to rest, Rilla, due to your condition, or shall we start making our way west? I'd hate to linger in this place for longer than we need to."
I don't want to be here any longer than we have to either. Let's just get going. I'm fine-ish. I'm fine-ish. It'll be fine. Let's go.
You verp a little bit on your second fine, but you keep it down.
Gross.
Yeah.
So gross.
Oh, yeah, it's super gross. So, yeah, you all start making your way through the forest, heading west towards what the Stricken has deemed the Martyr's Tree. Now, Rilla, you have never heard of the Martyr's Tree in your entire life living in the forest amongst the elves. I believe Hector, last episode, tried to do a bardic knowledge to see if he knew anything about it, and there's just bare smatterings of references to it in elven lore, but this is apparently a close-held secret because even Rilla doesn't know what the fuck it is.
Sounds like a great place.
Probably where they plan to kill you.
Yeah, I'm putting that together too.
Yeah.
So yeah, you all head west. You are heading through a very old wild forest that is being corrupted with unstable magics. I'm going to need you all to roll me some survival checks to see if you can get by in this harsh landscape.
I also do pass without a trace.
Sweet. Is that just you or the party?
I believe it's creature touch per level.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, You use your druidic magic immediately to keep the party from leaving any tracks that can be followed. Nicely done. What everyone get in their survival checks?
20 altogether.
Nice.
17.
Nice.
19.
Excellent.
What is survival at now? Whatever 15 plus 18 is.
33.
It's going to be 33. So, you all head out. You're all fairly good at woodcraft. Growing up on Myosha means that there aren't many giant metropolises to live in, and you've all spent your time in the wilds pretty much your whole lives. So you're able to navigate this forest fairly well. It is tricky because you keep coming across these massive trees, the trunks of which are sometimes 10, sometimes 20, some towering, massive ancient trees. Their trunks are 50 feet across. And as you get farther in, they are all polluted with this weird blight. These tendrils of blackness that sweep along the underbrush and up the bark and branches and leaves of these trees. The leaves are black in a lot of cases and incredibly brittle. A few stray gusts will blow the leaves off of an entire tree in moments, making these clouds of black fragments that flutter to the ground like dead butterflies. And the smell is rank as you make your way through. Zurabak is, of course, just completely at home, right as rain. There's death and rot all around him. I assume Zurabak's having a pretty decent time here.
Could be more damp.
Could be a little more damp, says Zurabak, but otherwise, pretty good. So yeah, you all make your way through without too much trouble. After a few minutes, though, you all start to hear a strange buzzing sound. It starts off faint, and as you make your way forward, it gets louder and almost angrier. You continue on your way, and it starts to pop up not just in front of you, but behind you and to either side of you. This terrible, angry buzzing. What do you all do?
Draw a weapon and get physically alert and ready.
Yeah, axe and shield for me, because I carry a shield now.
Fuck yeah.
I ignite my longsword.
Sweet.
Cast hide from animals on everybody.
Oh, okay, sick.
Wait, what?
It's another one creature touch per level.
Sweet. Zurabak casts...
And it'll last 100 minutes.
Zurabak casts the spell Hide from Animals. Awesome. So yeah, Zurabak, as everyone takes up arms, Ruger pulling his axe and shield, Hector getting his maul, and Rilla igniting her flaming longsword, Zurabak reaches out with his druidic magics and shrouds everyone from everyone's presence from any animals that you may find, much like he did in the jungles of the Ashen Isles. So you all make a circle and sort of wait it out. The buzzing continues to get louder, and just below the buzzing, barely perceptible, you hear moans of anguish, cries of pain. And from the trees around you, you see a horrific sight. Roughly clothed and terribly wounded elves, about 6 of them, approach you from all sides. They do not have the grace, that you associate with the elven people. They are advancing in a terrible, shuffling stumble, almost tripping over their own feet, and their skin is roiling with horrific bumps that surge all over them. Some of them have torn shirts and pants. They're all barefoot, clad in rags, and their skin, head to toe, is roiling with these bumps. Their faces are contorted in absolute anguish, and you see one of them as they approach, their eyes wild with pain and panic. They hunch over and retch, and a stream of bright crimson red bugs comes pouring out of his mouth, and they all rush you. And that's where we'll end. Hello and welcome to As the Dice Turns, the podcast after the podcast, where we take a deep dive into our player characters' psychology, their motivations, their characterizations, and try to get a better understanding of them as people. In this part of our show, we'd like to ask each of our protagonists a question and see if we can't unearth some deeper truths about their character. The question for today is a bit broader than normal, but our heroes just experienced a drama-fueled night of drinking, dancing, music, and also explosions, attempted poisonings, and a knife fight in a catering tent. So the question for today is, how do you feel about that wedding? We're, of course, referring to the wedding of Shira, Ruger's ex, with the diviner, the powerful divination sorceress that has made their home at the within the city of Everspring. So we just want to go over recent events and see how all of our protagonists are dealing with the fallout from that very special day. Rilla Longshadow, we'll start with you. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How are you, host?
I'm good. I think I might be developing an allergy to cats, or it might just be the fact that you are now being followed by 20 cats on rollerblades.
Well, we've got the cats, we've got the cat tamers. I may have talked an entire circus into joining my group. It's possible.
Wow. Now, is this an entire cat circus or just a regular circus?
No, it's a regular circus that also happens to have lions.
Okay, great. Wow. So we're going to be getting some big cats in here on the rollerblading side.
Also acrobats on rollerblades, so that'll be fun.
Okay, great. So an entire rollerblade circus to fight off the skateboarding gang.
Yeah, we gotta get rid of that boring-ass skateboarding gang. This is clearly more interesting.
Sure, rollerblading's better, I'll say, because I'm talking to you right now. And who knows what I'll say later. Boy, I sure hope that this feud between rollerbladers and skateboarders doesn't just manifest into some horrific, terrible battle that ends with me being naked and having to be saved again. But I'm sure that won't happen. I'm sure that won't happen at all. Anyway, Rilla, the question is, how do you feel about the wedding? Shira and the diviner got married. I'm curious what your takes, what you remember, how you feel about the whole night in question.
What, like their odds? Like how likely they are to stay together? Because I'm giving that like a 6 out of 10, maybe. They're older. They'll probably stick it out. I don't know.
That's not great odds. I'm curious why you don't think they're destined for a love that'll last forever.
Because one of them has like a sad ex-husband that's still in love with her.
What, you think Ruger's gonna make a play? Because that's some hot gossip. Like, you think that's likely?
No, I think he'll just mope until she feels guilty, and then that guilt's gonna like fuck up her relationship.
Wow.
That's what I think.
Rilla, that is quite the hot take. Sharon, are we getting this? We're getting this, right, Sharon? Okay.
Also, I'm not even sure if they ever actually got divorced, so she could be a bigamist, for all I know.
Wow. Okay. Now, Rilla, if you could do me a favor, I need you to look into this camera while you're saying this. We need to get the shot. So just for the record, you think that Shira and the Diviner's relationship's going to end because Ruger, quote, is going to mope so much she feels bad and leaves her. Is that accurate?
The guilt's gonna destroy the relationship. Yeah, for sure. Given time.
Wow. Okay. Now that's interesting. I'm curious, Rilla, how many weddings have you been to?
Geez. A lot. Probably at least 50-ish.
50 weddings? Do the elves get married that often?
No, but I'm 117 years old. So that'd be like one wedding every 2 or 3 years.
Okay. All right. So, okay, quite a few weddings. So how does this wedding, chances of happiness aside, how does this wedding, measure up to the elven weddings you're accustomed
There
to?
weren't enough birds.
Right. Not enough traditional elven marriage birds. That's right.
It was pathetic. No one cares about them. There's another strike against this wedding. And marriage.
Is it bad luck if there's not enough wedding birds? Does that not bode well for the future of the couple?
It certainly implies they don't have a lot of support within their community.
Well, that is a very interesting elven tradition that I was not aware of. Okay. Well, Rilla, you've given us quite a bit to think about. It's definitely some hot takes and some real pessimism there. I appreciate your candor. Thanks a lot. Wow. Anything else you wanted to add, or?
It was a really short wedding. I didn't like that either. No ceremony. It was fun shooting off fireballs, though.
Sure, it is, and it is a miracle that only bad guys got killed by that fireball that you set off in the middle of a crowded wedding.
Catering tent, but sure.
Okay, right. No, that's true. That's fair. All right, well, thank you very much, Rilla Longshadow. Wow. Sharon, we got all that, right? Okay. Wow, okay. Well, you're getting some hot takes today. Next up, we got Hector. Hector the Gatekeeper, Keeper of the Gates. How are you, sir?
Hector rolls in on the heels of his rolly shoes.
Hector, are those Heelys?
That's what they're called. Yes. Heelys. Yes.
Hector, I think there might be some people, and I don't want to speak for an entire extreme sports community, that might look at Heelys as sort of a degradation of the art form. I thought you were a skateboarder. What's going on here?
Zurabak's crew won't let me hang out with them anymore. So I got my own crew. I got the Heely crew.
Okay, so great. So in the battle between skateboarders and rollerbladers, you've started another faction. And how many people are in your crew?
Let's see. I got about 20-ish. My soldado is Billy Miller. He's 12. And
okay, great. I'm sure he really shreds. All right.
That's about the median age.
Okay.
Well, I guess that's a little on the older side of the median age of most of my guys, but
so you've got kind of a kids' crusade of Healy users sort of backing you up in this.
Yes, the children are our future.
Fantastic. Well, best of luck in using your crew of children to get back onto that half pipe. In any case, the question for today, Hector, is how do you feel about the wedding? The Shira Diviner wedding, quite an eventful day. I'm curious if you have any thoughts, any takeaways, any opinions on how everything went down.
Well, I thought it was fairly, I wouldn't say boring. That's a bit of a stretch, but I've been to a rowdier wedding or two or three. I'm not used to the city folk sort of weddings, where you're not supposed to start drinking until after the ceremony.
Right, of course. Gatekeepers like their Highlander grog, just all day, every day. I'm curious. You literally got into a knife fight with assassins at this wedding, but this wasn't the rowdiest wedding you've been to?
Have you ever fought a mountain goat stampede in the middle of a ceremony?
No, I can't say that I have. And these are the feared and brutal gatekeeper goats, I would assume.
Yeah, the town gossip was that there was a bit of a love triangle situation going on with the alpha goat,
Okay,
but I feel like that's just
sure.
rude talk that shouldn't have been happening.
Yeah, sure. You don't want to get a bunch of just spurious rumors out there on like a recording device where people could hear it. Well, okay, so it wasn't the rowdiest wedding you've ever been to, but like other than that, like how do you think everything went?
I mean, I guess the ceremony seemed fine. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really care for either of the brides in this particular instance.
Oh, interesting. Speak on that.
I just, inviting someone's ex-husband to work security at the wedding is a little. It's like a power move,
Sure. And you are, for the record, just like you are against powerful women. Is that what I'm getting? Hector, the gatekeeper, does not like powerful women. Is that the quote?
Well, I think that's a bit unfair.
Okay. So what would you say then?
I would say I'm against using someone's emotions to hurt them, to make sure they know that someone they once loved is not there. Like, it's what's not to get about why that was not like cool.
I completely understand. So the quote is, women are emotionally manipulative. That's the point you're trying to make here?
No.
But you were on record as saying that having Ruger attend the wedding was a dick move, that you shouldn't have someone exposed to that kind of transition, that you shouldn't make someone's ex watch them get married to another partner?
Yes.
Okay. And that'll definitely, Hector, that'll definitely be the quote that we go with, for sure. So don't even worry about it. Thank you very much, Hector. We certainly appreciate your time and your hot, spicy takes on this momentous occasion. Thank you very much. Next up, we've got Ruger Firehide. Ruger, good to see you back in the studio. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing just fine, host. Just fine. You like my new dreads?
I noticed the dreads. That certainly seems like a new move for you. What brought that on?
Well, it's to show my allegiance to our one true savior, Snake.
Right.
I mean, I wear my hair symbolically to reflect my appreciation for what he can do on the half pipe. By the way, did you see my new board, the Stallion that I rode in on? And I point to my black longboard with a horse decal on the top.
That is a beautiful piece of hardware you got there, for sure. I see you're stuck with the classic longboard.
Yeah.
Awesome, very old school. Now, is
Absolutely.
this to
Loyalty?
Sure. Is this to replace Cole?
Whoa,
or
hey, whoa, that's ouch. Let's not talk about painful things right now. That'd be really killing my vibe. I just came off the half pipe, man, and I'm going back afterwards. Yes, I have a pretty horse skateboard that I coincidentally happen to have named Cole. It's happenstance.
For sure. For sure. Okay, I won't read too much into that. And of course, we don't want to get into, dark or painful or emotionally taxing subject matter here in this segment of the show. So Ruger, my question for you is, how do you feel about the wedding between your ex-wife and the diviner? Any opinions? Any takeaways? Any
Yeah.
hot takes regarding that?
I do happen to have at least one hot take, host, and that's a big old fuck you. But beyond that, I had a fine evening, host. It was a lovely affair. Let's see, I got to have a drink. I got to see old Aunt Maria hit on Hector. Hilarious stuff. There was some issue with a bard. I don't know. I wasn't really there for that. I got to line dance with my traitorous son-in-law. No big deal. It was good times. Yeah, I got to see my ex-wife marry her new wife. I was security there. I don't know if you know. Then weirdly enough, I had a chance encounter with an old friend who stripped me of everything down to the barest exposed soul, and just ripped it all out, set it on fire in front of me, thematically, as you do. And then, reborn, a new man. I stroll up naked to that same their wedding, put on my friend Kerr's cape, and then played bartender for the rest of the night. So it was really top-notch affair. Probably the second craziest wedding I've ever been to.
Second craziest. That's interesting. We're getting a lot of comparisons here from everyone, as far as what they're used to with weddings. Yeah, I guess you weren't there for a lot of the actual festivities, as you were chained up naked in a basement.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess I really didn't consider that component, having every possession you owned be destroyed, as you said.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
I was there for the important part. I saw him tie the knot, so I was there. Everybody's clear. I was there for that.
Yes, you were.
The rest of it was a little hazy.
Sure. So how do you feel about this? Obviously, it's got to be hard letting go, seeing someone transition. I know for one thing, Hector is incredibly angry that you, furious really, I could barely calm him down, that you were forced to work security. We got some quotes from him, but we won't.
Has he been saying sexist shit again? Because I've been talking.
You hear a name like the Gatekeeper, and you don't really put it together until later. We can't put that.
I feel like I should have seen it coming.
We can't.
I jest.
We can't use that.
I jest, host. No, yeah, Hector has done a marvelous job of defending my honor in the face of that. What some may perceive to be an obvious insult. Now, I happen to divine that perhaps that was not the diviner's intention, per se, but I don't know. I'm also some backcountry hillbilly, so, but as far as how I'm feeling, honestly, host, I'm happy for Shira. I'm glad that she found something to keep her going, to keep her putting one foot in front of the other, and to offer her a little bit of happiness in her life where she can find it in between all of those medical classes and nurse responsibilities. Yeah, I'm happy for her. I'm happy for the diviner. I'm a little nonplussed with my son-in-law. And I, wish Jarmax the absolute worst. That's how I'm feeling.
Any plans to go after Jarmax now that the wedding's over and his confederates have been apprehended?
I don't know, host. Maybe. I feel like at the moment there are bigger fish to fry, and unfortunately, I am obligated by a higher calling to follow a different path. So if my path crosses Jarmax's again, well then perhaps justice will be served on that day. But to hunt him down feels a little too close to vengeance, and I'm trying to walk a different path than that one as well.
Understood. Well, I certainly appreciate your candor. Thank you for your honest responses as always, Mr. Firehide, and we appreciate you coming down to the studio. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, and this one goes out to our one true lord, Snack.
All right, and that brings us, last but not least, to King of the Shocker Lizards, Champion of the Goats, Emperor of the Rats, and the Duke of the Isle of Neho, Zurabak the Unburned. Zurabak, how are you today?
I'm here.
You sure are. For better or usually worse, you are here. Zurabak, the question for today is, how do you feel about the wedding? The wedding between the Diviner and Shira. A lot of knife fights and fireballs and poison.
There was a wedding?
Yeah, that thing you went to with all the groups of people when you were stalking that guy and he went to that big...
All I remember is the hunt.
Gotcha, okay.
I don't remember any wedding.
Okay, so
I wasn't invited to any wedding.
Now that is a good point. You certainly were not invited to that wedding. Sort of showed up on your own power there. Do you feel any certain way about that? About not being invited?
I didn't know there was a wedding.
Okay.
Till you said it, so that...
Okay. So you were so busy, so intent on stalking Thaddeus that you were completely unaware of the momentous proclamation of love and lifelong dedication that's happening all around you. I suppose it's not too surprising. Well, how do you feel about the hunt then that terminated at this wedding? How do you feel about stalking Thaddeus' eventual death? Any feelings or opinions about that?
Very disappointing.
Why is that?
Well, I didn't get to kill him.
That is true. You weren't the one to bury the knife in his chest, though you were the one to expose him as involved with Jarmax's plot, though I'm sure you did that.
Who?
Exactly. Completely unwittingly. Well, what would you have preferred happen to Thaddeus?
Oh. Well, after we were sitting in the chairs and then he tried to give me that delicious elixir.
Mm-hmm. The incredibly deadly poison that did not work on you at all?
Great flavoring.
Mm-hmm.
So as he was trying to flee the scene, well, it would have been better if he didn't get caught up in whatever the hell he got caught up in. And I just dragged him back in the middle and just carved his heart out and, it'd been a great time. No, I shouldn't carve his heart. He should lose a hand and no, whole arm first.
Okay.
And then I let him free again and the hunt starts all over.
Oh, wow. Well, that does sound like quite the chase.
He still had much fear in him that could be just exploited and all of that ruined. Because some people can't keep their hands to themselves.
Sure. Yeah, you never want someone to kill steal. It's just like I always tell my friends when we're playing Call of Duty. Like, you don't kill steal. It's just not done. My KD ratio's in the fucking toilet these days. All right, well...
That's probably because you should get better at the game.
Hey, you know what? The 12-year-olds from Korea say the same shit, and I'm tired of it, all right? I will get good at some point, all right? Don't come at me with that. It's fine. I do... Me and my friends do just fine on our weekly stream, and I don't need to justify my K ratio to you. So, no opinions on the wedding, completely unaware the wedding existed. You're just pissed you didn't get to kill Thaddeus. Is that...
Yeah, now I got nothing to do.
Well, I mean, haven't you picked up skateboarding? Or what side of this feud are you on?
No, all that shit's real lame.
Okay, so no extreme sports for you. I mean, your snake is killing it right now, right? I mean, it's got his own crew.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. That tiger doesn't exist anymore. I had to put him down.
Okay, so you've taken out a member of your snake's like animal skateboard crew.
He started it.
I'm sure he did. Well,
Snake's not talking to me right now.
okay. Well, ooh, that's some juicy drama to get into. I've never known you and Snake to be at odds. Well, I'm sure we'll see how all of that unfolds in the future. Because apparently your Snake's animal army is completely taken over the half pipe.
I mean, I trained him well.
You did. Well, we'll see how all that goes. But thank you, Zurabak, for your always unique perspective. That's going to do it for us here at As the Dice Turns, a podcast after the podcast. We want to thank you all for listening to this little show, and until next time, keep those dice turning. Hey there, dear listeners. Sam the DM here, checking in with the credits at the end of the show. Challenge Rating 0 was edited by Audius Prime, aka Matt Sims. You can get in touch with him at audiusprime.com. Music for Challenge Rating 0 is provided by the harp wolf Danielle Williams. You can find more of her beautiful music at danielletaylorharp.bandcamp.com, including her album Why Are We Surprised When Seasons Change. Additional music is provided by Justin Raw. You can check out his stuff at justinraw.com, including his album Age of the Spirit, which is also incredible. If you'd like to reach us here at Challenge Rating 0, we are on Facebook and Instagram at Challenge Rating ZERO. You can find us on Twitter at Challenge_ZERO. If you'd like to get in touch with us here, you can email us at challengeratingzer@gmail.com. You can send us questions for our As the Dice Turn segment. Any questions will be read on air. Special thanks, as always, to our amazing sponsor, Apotheosis Comics and Lounge. You can go to shopapotheosis.com to check out the cool stuff they have in their stores. They've got 2 locations, one on South Grand and one on Jefferson here in beautiful St. Louis, Missouri. If you are a local, check them out. And if not, you're missing out. Just move to St. Louis and go to this comic book store, please, for me. If you'd like to support us yourself, you can go to patreon.com/CR_ZERO. We've got some bonus content on there that you might dig, and we're working on more. If you are unable to support us fungibly, we totally understand. Feel free to give us a like, a subscribe, a download. Tell your friends about the show. Spread the gospel of this weird meta little D&D program, and let us proliferate our message across all the world. Thank you everyone so much for listening. If anyone out there is looking for a dungeon master to run a one-shot for them, I am available for hire. You can go to samthedm.com to find ways to get a hold of me, see testimonials from my players, and hire me to run a game for you and your crew. If you're in the St. Louis area, I will come to you, and if not, we'll do some online stuff. I think that is just about it. Thank you all so much for listening to the show. We appreciate your ears, and until next time, be good. Bye.